Hi, welcome to my book haul for the 12th of December 2021, and this one is Kid Cult Outlaw. I went to a comic convention, also went to a book fair in London, and I bought a few things, not too many, but a few things like this. I always love these ones. Kid Cult Outlaw, this is a lovely black and white magazine. This is issue number 17, British edition, you can see over there. And of course it's got a lovely Joe Maneely cover. However, there's not particularly any brilliant Joe Maneely work in here, but unfortunately that's always the way. You get a great cover, and then inside you've got some, this one's a Jack Keeler, absolutely fine bits of work there, and also many other stories as well. So American Eagle in the Wagon Trail. So it's a mix of things. It's not just, of course, Kid Cult Outlaw, but still an absolutely great little magazine. Couple of quid, absolutely brilliant. I always love these lovely black and white ones. Now I'm not exactly certain the age, probably somewhere late 50s, early 60s, I would have said. But it's very Rodeo Rick, the Runaway Rodeo. So a great little story there as well. So that's that one. There was a pile of these ones as well. So I've got a few other ones to show as well. Now, this is one I'm really into music. I love music. So I love singing. I love all lots of things. So any sort of music books I'm quite often picking up. This one is There Goes That Song Again, 100 Years of Popular Song. And really lovely book this one is. It's got lots and lots of music as well. So it's great to, along with, of course, a certain Amazon device that I won't mention the name. I will start up. You can, of course, bring up loads and loads of different songs and, of course, sing along with them. And also it's got lots of great information about the hits of the period all the way through the various years, 1920s, 30s, etc. Always Broadway melody and, of course, many others. So this one's quite a nice one. And, of course, also Queen as well. Many other Apache there. So that's a lovely book there. This one, actually not particularly from the fair. This was given to me by someone. And Bonham's magazine. I love these things. I love these auction magazines. Always great. I do occasionally go to auctions. They're fascinating to go to, but I always sort of sit there going, nope, not going to bid for any of those. They're always like obviously ridiculous amounts of money. So even basic, very standard auction, book auctions and things, I think I'm not spending that kind of money on that. But anyway, I love all the first things, and when you look at some of the prices that are mentioned in here, you think, nope. Dial M. This one here, something like obviously Napoleon's hat. Sort of thing that you sort of casually purchase, not. Robert Rauschenberg. I'm not saying how. Anyway, obviously got there. Lovely. They're actually best for me in this. Obviously got a lovely bit of Picasso there. There's a bit of Dali. This was great. When I was going through this, I thought, wow. In the beginning, it's all about the Beatles. I love the Beatles. I'm an obsessive Beatles fan, like probably many people. And you've got here, got a lovely, see there, list for the day. I think it was 1963, it says, yes. Something like that. Yeah, April 1963. And this one as well, even better, 1960. Wow. I mean, a great list. And I love the list as well. Red Sails in the Sunset, whole lot of shaking, all those sort of things. Some of it I can't. Clarabella. Those sort of absolutely brilliant. Also, I love these posters. It'd be really great if you could get a book of all the posters for the 60s, obviously not all the posters, but certainly like all the Beatles ones or something like Rolling Stone, just see all the posters they did, or most of them. It must have been saved. Surely people have copies of quite a few of them. You do occasionally see them, and that's they're always fascinating. And also, of course, you've got some lovely paintings, etc. in this magazine. So really good. Always worth getting these ones. This is obviously the autumn 2021 one. Joy to the World. I'm also a complete Christmas holic. I must admit, I love this one. Virtually impossible to pass up a Christmas book. Victorian Christmas. And I love these things. This book is absolutely beautiful. Got full of just lovely, lovely pictures all the way through. All the various, obviously the period, the various cards. I mean, just absolutely amazing, all the various. I imagine, of course, if these... And I've seen some various things at various fairs and things, and you look at them and they're quite expensive. They go for a lot, but they're just not, maybe not all of them, maybe some are reasonable price, but most are. I must say, I'm not really particularly one to build up a collection of all this sort of stuff. I guess it's, if you're really, really into Victorian Christmas items, you know, these items are available to buy, but No, it's not something I love. Like I say, lots and lots of Christmas things. I love reading about. There's a one on tonight program on TV, Lucy Worsley, that I will love about all the Christmas carols. I've seen it a number of times. I'm quite certain I've seen that. Very similar. It's been repeated, and all that sort of Victorian Christmas, Tudor Christmas, all that sort of stuff. I love it, and so these sort of books are absolutely great. Absolutely, all these sort of the games, catalogue price can't be a catalogue price lists. That would be another thing I would love to buy. Any book of price lists, I would be all like comics and things. I would instantaneously buy that. So you've got lots and lots of other ones there. So that's a great book. I've just done. Also, I love photography, and any book that's. And this one was quite interesting. I picked this up very cheap. So Birth of Photography, just full of lots of great pictures. Brian Coe. I love all that, the early photos. You look at some of these early photos, you think, wow. That is just absolutely amazing. You can hardly make it out. Looks a bit like some of my Photoshop work. I do a lot of Photoshop work, do lots of graphic design, and it ends up looking a bit like that sometimes. Almost sort of mess around with it and rush, make sort of, and then you've got lovely, beautiful there. Lots of fine examples, all different types of, also I love all the street scenes and things you just see of that period. Just amazing. When you look at those, you think, wow, that one's in Edinburgh. Absolutely impressive. And these ones, I've seen some of them already. It's not like some of these are unfamiliar. Not all. But that's a lovely one. Get there with a camera. Just great. Must have been very. Also, these sort of things as well. When you see all the people just sitting there and obviously frozen in time as just get their photo. Just beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. These pictures. A judge there. I wonder what he was. Anyway, times have changed. So you got some love, just got absolutely beautiful pictures all the way through there. So that's a great book. Now this one, Strange Death of Alex Raymond. This proved very hard to get. Now I picked this up, not in the book fair or the comic fair. I picked this one up in Gosh, up in London. No, Forbidden Planet. It was one. I knew it was one of them. Anyway, but it's in both. You can get it in Gosh as well as Forbidden Planet, but on Amazon. It proved to be quite tricky. It still seems to be not available. Certainly from I haven't found it anyway. And also trying to find a copy on eBay and places seems to be very hard as well. You can get it in US, but doesn't seem to be so easily accessible here, which is a pity because this book is amazing. I really think this is an absolute Dave Sim and can't say his name, Carson Gruber, maybe. Wow is the word that comes to mind. This is just like comic book history. Illustrations, everything. It just covers just amazing. I will be doing a review of this because this book is just. There's Alex Raymond. You just got just incredible illustrations all the way through this book. This is just an absolute black and white masterpiece of history of like newspaper strips, comic books, everything just thrown in. It's just truly stunning work of art. Just beautiful. If you're into sort of like comic book drawing, design, etc., which I love doing, so you got here. Look at that. It's just got all the how he does this and that. Just brilliant. Absolute. And also look at that. Beautiful. Just glorious. I've wanted this for ages. I've had this on pre-order for a long time. And also it's just reference to all the various variety of things. Big Ben Bolt. Can't say I must admit I know much about that. Juliet Jones, of course. Loads of others. And also there's just great King's Features Syndicate. This is an absolute must. If you're into comic books, I think this book is going to be just a must-have. Or even films and things. There's just this one, just turn the page. You got films and just look at the quality of the drawing. The artwork is borrow. Yeah, but this is just. There's not much I can say about this. This is just an absolute masterpiece. So I'm really relieved I got it because I was thinking, will I get it? Will I ever be able to buy it? And so I saw it up in London. Of course, I had it on order, and I thought, sometimes maybe I should have, of course, a mobile phone account so I can cancel my orders. But I don't. That's sophistication, of course. So I just didn't. So anyway, I could, of course, get 2 copies. Of course, it's just such a good book. Just brilliant. However, I don't know how many pages it is, quite a few pages. However, this one is a lovely one. I love 100. I'm a mega fan of 100-page super spec. I've, over the years, had loads and loads of these, and this one I got rid of, and I regretted getting rid of it because this is a really lovely one. World's Greatest Super Females, just great, full, really unusual stories. You can see the characters in it: Black Canary, of course, Harlequin, and many others. And you've got obviously Supergirl there. You've got some lovely old Supergirl ones with Legion of Superheroes. You've also got Black Canary. Absolutely, I love the Black Canary ones. I've got the archive edition of that one. Of course, Wonder Woman. Of course, got the omnibus editions of those. So most of these stories I have actually got probably in other forms now. But also, as always with these things, it doesn't always show the... What does it show the dates? Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But this one, Phantom Lady. Look at that lovely Phantom Lady one there. Of course, that was Quality Comics. Quality Comics. So, this one does show. This one's got Star Spangled Comics number 90. This is the Girl of 1,000 Gimmicks. I have no... Mary. No idea if how many stories she had after that. But obviously, 1,000 Gimmicks. Maybe she could have a comeback. Who knows? Why not? What else is there? Oh, there's also, of course, a little letters page. Can't be a good old letters page. You've got here all about the DC Special, Plastic Man, etc. Love Plastic Man. Superboy one there. And you've got Action Comics, which is... Oh, obviously even got the cover there, which is really great. Black Magic of Supergirl. And that's that. Just a great little issue. And also it's got a lovely, this one, Key to DC's Fighting Super Females. So you've got a load of them. Good old, you know what, pops up out of random thing. However, let's just go the right way around. This one, Daily Mail, Ideal Home book. I love books of this, 1955. Absolute great. There's quite a few of these sort of books that turn up, and I'm always picking them up when I see them. Any of this sort of thing. And this one was £2. Maybe some people say that's way too much for a book of 1955, which is probably true. But still, I love these sort of books, so I'm just pleased to get it. And it's got lots of obviously contents there. House and Home. I will be doing a review of, of course. But look at just love the adverts as well. Smedleys. I remember Smedleys. They're probably still going. I assume they are. Who knows? Canned and fresh frozen fruits and vegetables. Can't beat that season's taste. Obviously, strawberries at Christmas. Yep. I think people will be having some strawberries at Christmas. And just all the houses. I just love looking at just some of these. I love the bookshelves. But often when I look at these things, I always end up looking at the bookshelves. I always think, I love those books, some of those books. You know, probably they weren't, who knows. Just can't tell. And there, some more bookshelves. It's weird. Maybe that's always the people that take photographs of houses always position it at a bookshelf. It just obviously gives a bit more something of interest to the picture. Vintage 1954 Zodiac is a lovely car. I've no idea. I don't drive, but I'm certain Zodiac was a lovely car back in 1954. Maybe it's a lovely car now. Maybe people have got Zodiacs. Who knows? Furnishing. You got here furnishing. You got loads of painters of heaven and earth. Probably not something El Greco, of course. Love El Greco. Talking of textiles, and you've got textiles in there as well, of course, and lots more adverts, and I don't know where that is. Fenwick. Fenwick is definitely still there. Someone's going to put in the comments below, no it isn't. Yes it is, I'm certain Fenwick's is still there. However, you've got other shops as well, and that one here is J.W. Benson Limited, Bond Street. That may still be there as well, for all I know. But you've got other one, Glass, the Modern Magician. And you've also got Insurance for Home and Family, Windsor Group of Companies, and so on and so on. Just page up. Look at that lovely... and bar. What's he got? Pictures of baths and things. You know, really. Home Team. They always have that sort of stuff. So you've got loads and loads of great pics. Practically beautiful. Oh, so that's another thing that's always great. Illustrations. You can't beat a good old illustrations. Absolutely lovely. And let's just get to the last one. And this one's Pedigree, and you've got obviously all the fashions as well of the period. So these books are just absolutely great. I just love these pictures. Oh, let's just go for that one. Another one there. Gardens as well. Beautiful. I have no idea all these ones. Maybe these are very popular flowers nowadays. Not particularly a gardener. Most of my garden. However, let's just get on to this Mighty World of Marvel. I love these ones. These are great. This one's a 1974. Wow, 1974. Where did the time go? I remember buying this one. That's why the reason I bought it at the comic fair. Monster and the Murder. This was 25 pence. I think a reasonably good price for 25 pence. So this is issue 80. And you've got the leader. The leader. This probably actually, that issue probably had only been out about 2 or 3 years before anyway. So, but I love these things because I think the quality is actually really quite sharp. If you actually look at the artwork, I mean, of course, these ones are quite much bigger than the US magazines. So you actually get some really quite sharp quality artwork in this. This one here, you've got the leader there. Oh, there's the good old leader there. After today, blah, blah, blah. No more! Of course we will. We're going to... Poor... Why didn't he just use his great brain to actually help people? No, he wouldn't. Of course, that would be too easy. It has to be evil. Evil. And this one, more news. Incredible ideas. Outrageously funny. Oh, good. And, of course, I loved always reading the letters there. Letters are always great. And you got Time to Unmask. Of course, great bit of Wallywood there. Love it. Bob Powell. Oh, Bob Powell, artist. Wow. Been looking at a lot of Bob Powell's work recently. So you got... I love that story. That was quite a good little story. Real good bit of action there. Now, not always comes across. Oh, and here's, of course, we had the Spider-Man Weekly as well. And also the latest adventures of Shang-Chi or Shang-Chi, whatever it is now. I know it's said slightly differently now. And, of course, every week in the Avengers. And also we had these as well, posters. Now, I never sent away for these posters. And I don't know if these were available in the US or anything. It's possible. I don't know. But I have no even who the artist was. It doesn't look like it indicates anything there. This one is another one. I love this one. This is a great little story, of course. You hurt it with a raise. You can't stand against, obviously, the harpy. And great little story. That was 171, number 171, 1976. Old Betty, good old Betty, was slightly going a bit bit angry towards old Bruce at that point. And obviously you had MODOK there. The Menace of MODOK, as you do. Massive picture there. And of course she turns into this character that battles away. I don't know if Harpy ever returned. Maybe a bit like the Star Sapphire or something of Green Lantern sort of reappears, but no idea, to be honest. But again, I love these old magazines. I had loads of these issues, perhaps too many. Maybe I should have just concentrated buying US ones, but still, I did enjoy them. I love a good old, you can't beat a good old maze. And then some more. This one's Daredevil one. Didn't know that story, I must admit. This one I think is Barry Smith. Yeah, Barry Smith's artwork. Good old Barry Smith. I love that one. That's just a great one. And again, you've got really, really sharp artwork, and you can really see when you sort of very close there, you can see nice quality. And I love this one. Oh, this is pretty good. One fan waves a mint copy of Amazing Fantasy 15. That was probably not a good idea. Waving a copy. However, this was apparently in Chalk Farm in 1976. So 1976, copy of, I wonder how much he paid for that. I suspect if he's still got it, it's obviously gone on to be a lot more. Look at that, just great. Amazing Fantasy. You don't actually see many, very rarely at comic conventions do you ever, or comic marts, see copies of Amazing Fantasy. I must admit, it's Fantastic Four #1. See that a lot. See a lot of the other ones, the Avengers, etc. Seen those quite a few times. But Amazing Fantasy 15. Don't normally see that. And I have seen copies on sale at my favourite shop, or now it's not, online, 30th Century Comics. They sold one recently. It was, about 10, 12,000 or something. So maybe it was that one. Who knows? But that's, I love these sort of ones. Even got T-Rex there, or Mark Bolan, obviously there, and Roy Wood, I mean. Sorry, getting his name wrong. And you got also there, you can see the old Origins of Marvel Comics there, one that Stan Lee did. And then you got War with the Wingless Wizard. I love that one, the Wingless Wizard. Was never sure why he didn't bring back his power gloves, his invincible gloves. The pounding power of my invincible gloves. Would have been nice, obviously, on nice winter sort of thing, having a nice pair of gloves. But also with, what was the power source of these gloves anyway? But that's a minor point. Oh, actually, that's something, I've never noticed before. And I probably wouldn't have noticed it at the time, maybe. even got, look at that, wow, a Ditko actually got take a chair. Literally take a chair. And all people walking past his chair, sitting in a chair. So you got a chair, and of course you can guess what, as all with Ditko, you can guess it's always going to be a weird ending. And there is a weird ending, of course. A predictable weird ending, but a weird ending, no less. But it's nice that they don't, very rarely included those sort of things. So that's always odd. However, this one, I love these ones. Though, this one, the artwork is much the same. I don't know who the artist is all the way through it. But the artist is much, I think it's the same artist all the way through it. So this one, and I got it because it was number 2. I thought, oh, Justice Traps the Guilty, another black and white one. And I don't know which one it was. Was it Top Sellers Limited, apparently? That doesn't mean anything. It might have been Streamlined, whatever. I'm not certain. Thorpe and Porter, you've got the Thorpe and Porter at the back advert there. The best in the West and reading, select a novel. And records as well. Can't even make that out. Canon? Maybe Canon Records, 6 top pops every month for 6 and 11. But you've got the artwork, and of course, like I say, it's just it's nice condition still. It's obviously slightly brown, but I mean that never worries me particularly. It's obviously seen a few years, but at the same time, I think the artwork is okay. There's nothing wrong with the artwork, but it looks the same artist. I think all the way through. It's got that same style all the way through. Racket guy. But they are great crime stories. I love these crime ones, westerns, etc. And but it doesn't ever say who the artist is, and of course you could always find out on GCD or something like that. Home to Homicide. So there's that one, and then Sinister Tales. I bought this one for, all these were like £2 or something. So they're always great. 68 pages, full 68 pages, amazing stories. Sinister Tales, number 67. That one. So I'll be doing reviews of these, of course, individually at some point. But I got this one because of course, the brilliant artwork on the front, and also, of course, got a lot of Tower comics inside, which is really good. I love this one. This one is an unusual one. Lightning, the Web, Titans, Thunder Agent. And you've got, I think there's another one actually. No, of course, you've got a Ditko. You always know Ditko as soon as you open it. This one, I mean, it's actually sort of like Doctor Strange, like basically Doctor Strange. If you were the Worm Man. Would that have worked as well, I wonder? Instead of Spider-Man, we'd had Worm Man. People would have been flocking to the films to see Worm Man. Worm Man meets Doctor Strange. Worm Man does this, meets Mysterio or something. It's possible. So you've got a storyline there, Worm Man. Actually, got his growth pill as well. Actually, again, that's let's just quickly read to the end of the story. What can I do? Oh, no. Oh, predictable end. Yeah, okay. But still, they could have brought him back. He was a contender. He could have. But I expect, as always with these things, it's one of those stories. But just great artwork as well, all the way. Bill Walton, I have to say that. But I always love these bits. This is always a bit I love. One of the strangest tales ever. So that probably means it was in Strange Tales. I'm just guessing on that. But there wasn't a magazine called Strangest Tales, unless there was. But this one, Strange Adventure of Archer Prot. Now that doesn't look like it. It might be. I think Beck Constanza, that would have been ACG. So you've got ACG there. Bit of a story there. But they often would include Atlas stories as well as sort of ACG. Never DC particularly. I don't think I can ever remember a DC one, but Tower Comics quite often turned up. And this one, obviously this is a war one. So again, this looks, this first story, I would say that's, again, I don't know. But sorry, you've got the wrong ghosts. And this is by someone called Trapini. Anyway, lovely little magazine. I love these ones. Absolutely brilliant. This one, I was over the moon to get because I love Christmas. And I've said that a few times because I do. And giant superhero holiday grab bag. I have wanted this one again for ages. I got rid of it ages ago. I regret getting rid of it. And I've been looking for it. I've noticed it online a lot. But this was a really good price, and I thought, yes, I am going to have Marvel Treasury edition, 1975, that one, and just great stories. Not very Christmassy, really, when you look back. I mean, when I got this first, I thought this was Christmas heaven. Absolutely brilliant. But you can see it's not really Christmas. But still, great stories also. And that one, of course, is one of the classics for me. Before Christmas. 'Twas the night before Christmas. Just great seeing there. Just stunning. I love that bit where he's just sitting down. He's preparing his cocktails. He's obviously, and he says, guess who? And he's Val. No, wrong, Laura. That was a bad mistake. However, of course, he's battling against the hate monger, as you do on Christmas Day, who wants, of course, probably to destroy the world, universe, whatever it is that he wants to do. They always do. But there's a nice twist in the story, which is really good. And on to the next one, which is Spider-Man Goes Mad. I love that one. That was a classic. Absolutely. Because it was one of the stories where really nothing much happens. And there's a twist, of course, at the end. But it's just a brilliant story. You've got this guy that goes along and convinces that Peter Parker that he needs help because he's seeing things or whatever. He's sort of the beads of sweat going down. They always did that. I love that. The beads of sweat. You can't beat it. And you've got him sort of, no, not again. Cry of alarm. Why did they have to? Sometimes when you see this, like, but then as he reaches the doorway, etc. Why? Why did they put the text? Was that really necessary? I mean, maybe it's just me, but to me, I would have said, no, not necessary at all. But that's, of course, later on, when you look, this is obviously a 60s one. When you go to the 70s, and this one's brilliant, Jingle Bomb, I was going to say Jingle Bells, of course. Jingle Bombs, George Tusker and Billy Graham. And, wow, just a great little story of Christmas. Can't beat a good old Christmas story there. Lots of snow. Snowballs, people obviously jumping out complete mad. Classic Luke Cage. Love that story. Santa Claus is in it, of course. And there's always a twist at the end. Actually, the end is very much like the end of the first one as well. The Shield one. This is one of my favourite stories as well. Again, not particularly Christmassy, but heaven is a very small place. Herb Trimpe and Roy Thomas, Stan Lee, etc. Where he goes to this sort of town where he suddenly finds people that really like him. And that's just beautiful. He walks through the town and everyone sort of, things happen and the kids are, no one is sort of moving, no one's doing anything. And he obviously meets someone like Jarella. And of course, just beautiful story. Absolute one of the classics. As far as I'm concerned, one of the great Hulk stories. But maybe other people will disagree. But this one is also a classic. Well, Eternity. And you've got here one called Nightmare. And of course, the classic bit about this is, of course, set around the Christmas period. And you've got, I love this scene. Probably one of my favourite scenes in Doctor Strange, actually. In terms of, obviously, not for magical, what's his name, but because of purely just, see, we're clear. And they're getting out ready to go ready. And they wander out, Times Square, etc., just walking along. And you've got the snow. I like this snow. Just an absolute, and obviously creatures suddenly start appearing, all sort of thing. Doctor Strange has to go and deal with that. And obviously Eternity's involved as well. Just a classic, an absolute joy. Just for that one page is really, truly my favourite. Love it. And then you've got at the back, you've got, of course, all the various covers. Merry Christmas, Marvelite. So that was that. And this one, I love this one. And this one I got a book fair, and I didn't get many magazines because it wasn't a magazine fair particularly, so it was nice to actually see. They had loads and loads of these German art magazines. The covers were brilliant, but they were expensive. But they didn't really have much inside, which was disappointing because I was really expecting inside to be lots and lots of, I think Jugend, I don't know how you say it in German, so maybe I'm saying it can be, but it didn't really have much, the illustration wise, and I thought, well, pity. The covers were beautiful, really beautiful Art Nouveau sort of arts, really glorious. And then you've got this, look at that, just a lovely, it's called Woman's Home Companion, 1946, 15 cents. And beautiful all the way through this. Just got lots and lots of articles, lots of adverts, Linnet. What are the youngsters up to? Probably reading Marvel comics and Timely comics, but unfortunately not a single picture there. They're all reading very, very sensible newspapers. Not reading anything of like EC horror comics or anything useful like that. But still. And you've got also lovely these pictures. I love these sort of things. Now, unfortunately, this copy is not perfect condition. There's a few rips and tears in it. But still, got lovely articles, lots of lovely pictures. And also it's quite a sizable little magazine as well. Also it's just got lots of great little sort of discussion about what's happening in the world. Also things about like making ice cream. America's favourite dessert. Smooth perfection. Master recipe, vanilla ice cream. So they make 3 popular flavours. Coffee. Toasted nut ice cream. Was that a popular one? Really? Don't know. Maybe it is. Not, sort of biscuits and whatever things that we would have nowadays. Salted caramel or something. Chocolate. But it looks very nice all the same. That's fallen to pieces, of course, as always. Lots of these magazines, old magazines are. And, there's a rip there. You can see someone decided to rip that out there. But you got all like the fashions of the period as well. Absolutely great. Lovely picture there of fashions. And some more adverts. You got, and most of these products are probably long gone, I assume. I don't know. Zemical. No idea. Absolutely no idea on that one. How can someone be sure? No idea. It does seem to be missing the last page, unfortunately, which is a pity, but that's life. And but it's actually, when I looked on the listings, the contents, it doesn't seem to be missing the last page, but still looks like it is there. This one's good. Got this one. Fraser of Africa. I love Frank Bellamy's work. So this one I've been looking for quite a while. It's not so easily to find a copy of, but this was obviously from the library. You can see the good old just been ripped out there. I assume it's been actually properly ripped out and was done by, but it's got a lovely bit of information. Obviously Churchill there is by Frank Bellamy, and you've got Commando Gibbs, who was the Shepherd King. Lots of examples. It's quite annoying when you see these things. You think, oh yeah, great, you've shown this example of this, but is there going to be a book ever of those? It'd be great to see a nice little. And then you've got Fraser of Africa. The artwork is superb, of course. Absolutely. I mean, it must have been amazing to actually see it in the original form as well. These are always good, but the originals, I think sometimes are even better when you look at them, because it just like, off the page. Look at those yellows. Would people do yellows? So obviously it's deserts. You're going to have a lot of yellow in the deserts. So just great. Absolutely brilliant artwork all the way through. They must have used a lot of yellow ink. Or whatever it was. But it's just beautiful. Fraser of Africa. I'm really pleased I got this one. Just absolutely glorious. First issue of Britain's famous strip cartoon paper, The Eagle, was published in 1950, and it's got the details there. So there's that. Then, nostalgia about comics. Now, I've wanted this one for quite a while as well, and it always seems to be weirdly priced quite high, so I didn't buy it, but I might be wrong on that. Sometimes when you look and suddenly you see it's priced quite low and you think, oh, and then sometimes you look at it and it's suddenly 30 or 40 or something and you think, But this one's just full of all these lovely, all these first covers there, all fun, annual, jumbo. I mean, there's so many of these comics, but you never see them. I never see these. I mean, occasionally you might be lucky to pick these up at a book fair or whatever, a comic fair. But the comic fairs, I probably could go for years going to comic fairs. It will be full of Marvel comics, DC comics, Image comics probably, Dynamite comics, some UK comics, but very little of this sort of thing. I mean, Smuggler's Creek, Whiz Comics. I mean, how do you find these sort of things other than probably like 30th century comics? Who would have Sparkler Comics, I love that one, and Nancy there. Merrymaker comic, Merry Christmas, as it says there. And you've got also some lovely pictures here. Prisoners on the Moon. And you've got Tarzans, got lots of other Rocky Mountain TV heroes, Captain Marvel. Seen quite a few of those at various comic fairs. Well, actually at book fairs, actually. I saw piles of them at book fairs recently. They're quite expensive, but they were nice condition, but not that super fan of Captain Marvel. I mean, I like them, but I wouldn't say I'd rush and buy lots of copies of them. And you've got some other stories there. And you've got Captain Marvel club page. And also some other ones, violence, etc. Cult of Violence Persists. Women Outlaws. Don't know what that one is. And also, obviously, that's a famous one. That picture has been shown. So, should US comics be banned? And he's obviously reading something. I can't make that out which comic it is, but it's one of them. I've seen that thing though. The Saint, terrific adventure, and so on. This book is just an absolute joy. If you're into old sort of UK comics from the 40s, 50s, etc., I think this was obviously a must buy. Oh, same picture on the front cover. So probably, can you make it out? Boy something. No, I'm not certain. Not certain what that one is, to be honest. And got this one as well. I like this one. Viking Prince. This one's Viking Prince, number 12. And the reason I got this one, obviously brilliant Joe Cooper work. Always love his work. And it's full of also Viking Prince, Robin Hood. These are all from the early sort of showcase books, Brave and the Bold and those sort of ones. Maybe not showcase, but certainly that period. Brave and the Bold, number 1. Brave and Bold, number 1. I don't know if these have been reprinted recently, or you can get, I think there was a trade paperback or hardback of some of the Viking Prince ones, but that's not particularly easily to get now. There's another one, Brave and Bold, number 16. So they're obviously very early issues and so hard to get. And Brave and the Bold, number 5 for Viking Prince. So it's not all the stories, I assume. So I assume that unless there weren't that many of the Viking Prince, and Robin Hood, of course, and Silent Night as well. The Golden Gladiator as well in there. Love anything, obviously, the Roman ones there. The Golden Gladiator. Teen Titans. So this one was lovely advert there for Teen Titans. Very weird advert. Look at that amount of space, white space there. You think they could have fitted another going the other direction, and then it would have made more sense, wouldn't it? However, lovely one, that one. And finally, of all of these ones I got yesterday, I think it's a nice selection. I was quite pleased with the selection. It was real. Well, I didn't spend a huge amount for all these, which is quite good. And this one was £2 as well. I love photography books, and it's just these sort of, especially a year ones, are always great because they just capture an entire year sort of period, and it's just full of just beautiful, obviously a lot of information as well. You've got some lovely the people of the time, so you've got some lovely pictures there, portraits, etc., as well as and some people I have no idea who they are. J.E.P. Bardsley, no idea. So you've got some lovely pictures, all obviously black and white, just absolutely good. So when you see these sort of things, you think, well, they very rarely turn up. I mean, I could probably go for years and never find another copy at a book fair of this sort of book. And then, of course, next month I might find another batch of like 1962 or 63. And this one, another one here, Noel Coward. Of course, I know who Noel Coward is. So you got there with And Friends, the good old And Friends. And this also, you got the kid there in the street, football, boy with ball, Robert Maine, of course, famous pictures of London. I love those ones. And loads and loads and loads and loads of other pictures. Just beautiful. Oops, can't show that picture. I'm not. So. And lots more. So, absolutely glorious. I love this one. New I said new photographs, didn't I? It's photograms. Photograms. How odd. So anyway, that's all the way around. And that's it. I love the book fairs. Of course, I have got an advert for the book fair. And of course, it's under a massive pile of books now, so I can't show it. But the Bloomsbury Fair, book fairs and things, they're great. Now, I don't go to them all. I think they're just, they also do ones for magazines as well. Also do a winter special one, a Christmas special thing, and they're just great. I love that sort of stuff, and they're always worth going to. So I would definitely recommend popping down to them. And also the comic fairs, of course, they're in London and in the National Hotel there, and they're always good as well. I do enjoy those. So yeah. But other than that, I will go through reviewing some of those. I hope you found this interest going through these, and of course, please put in the comments below if there's any interesting particular one that you would be like to see me review. Always great to know. Thank you much. Bye.